Okay, so today we're going to look at some of the recent acquisitions of mainly computer parts and other things like that, which I got at the thrift store recently. Such items include a PS2 controller, two Apple keyboards, a Pentium 3 desktop computer, as well as a DVD drive. So first let's look up this PS2 controller. Out of all of the ones which were being sold, there were several controllers at the store, but I got this one, which was in the highest quality condition. Though I still want to clean it up, such as take off the sticker, $5, as well as clean up the buttons. Controllers are probably pretty dirty because they're using them a lot when you play the games. What I want to do with this controller actually has nothing to do with playing games, but I would like to get an adapter so I can use this on a computer and perhaps use this with a PlayStation 3 emulator for a home theater PC. This Apple keyboard I really don't have any use for. It's the 2010 original iPad keyboard with 30-pin dock. I got this for $4 though, which for an Apple product is usually pretty good. There are not very many Apple products for $4, especially one this new. It's pretty useless now, considering that iPads use a lightning connector. You could probably hook this up to a lightning iPad, but I don't even have any iPads using a little adapter and maybe an extension cable. But it's a dock. You could use it for the iPad, iPhone 4, older iPhones, iPod Touch, up to iPad 2. So that's that one. Another thing that I would need to clean would be this old Apple Pro keyboard from 2005. Again, this was $4. It's just a simple USB keyboard. Apple keyboards usually come with extension cables, but this one didn't, so it just has a little key on it where the extension cable would go to, but I'll just use it on a normal USB port. It has two USB ports. This is the only Apple keyboard which has the USB ports here. Usually they have them on either side, such as the keyboard older than this and the newest keyboard. It's transparent, which is kind of nice and kind of bad because you can see all the dirt that the keyboard has accumulated. But I can just pop off the keys and clean it up, and this keyboard will be worth more than $4. Next item, speaking of worth more, is a DVD drive. This is the DVD burner, which has a fan. It doesn't need a fan, but it has a fan. Firewire. I don't have a computer with firewire, or I don't have a cable either, but USB and 12 volts. It didn't come with the power adapter, but I do have a 12 volt adapter which it does work with, and it fits in there nicely. It has a switch which controls the DVD player and the fan, but if you take this apart, it's just a simple IDE connected DVD drive. You could probably take the DVD drive out and it would work with hard drives, but it wouldn't fit in the connector. But it's a very standard device. It is pretty big, but It's only $7, which, considering that the Apple SuperDrive is $70, I think that was a pretty good way to spend money, since I'm going to use this on my Mac Mini, the 2012 version, which does not have a DVD drive. Speaking of it doesn't have a DVD drive, here's an old computer, Pentium 3. It has a CD drive, CD-RW. I haven't tested it yet, but I know the computer turns on, just not a DVD drive. Also have a floppy drive. I don't have any floppy disks, so maybe I'll take this out and put a floppy disk emulator. It shipped with Windows 98, but this computer it's been modified and it doesn't have a hard drive. So whether it has Windows 98 or not, I don't really know. But what it does have is a Pentium 3, the slot type processor. So let's take this apart, and well, not completely apart, let's just open it up and look at some of the components. On the inside, it's a standard computer. There's the slot for the Pentium 3. It has, let's look at the RAM. It has 2 sticks, but it has 3 slots, so it's PC 1333 RAM. This stick right here is 128 megabytes. This one, yeah, 128 megabytes. So you have 256 megabytes of PC 133. I don't have any more PC 133, so that's just what it's gonna have. As far as expansion goes, you have a graphics card, which is pretty dusty. You have a sound card, your typical Sound Blaster card connected to the CD drive for CD audio. It also, lower down, it has other cards, including an IDE controller, as well as dial-up modem, and that's it for its cards. But it does have, you do get 6 PC, you get 1, 2, 3, yes, 6 PCI slots, 2 of which are empty, and AGP slot. It's probably an older version of AGP though. It has an IDE card, which it does have onboard IDE, but it appears that this is the 80 cable IDE rather than the 40 cable. This would be used for the hard drive, I guess. Looking at the back is evidence of modification of this computer. This computer was modified in aspects as the power supply. You can see in the corner that there's a big cutout area because the power supply on this machine appears to be replaced, and when they did that, rather than getting a correctly fitting power supply, it was just cut out. This was actually a very poorly way to cut it out. They didn't even file it down correctly, but I guess it does fit. Though this isn't a very good way to modify your computer, but it does show evidence that there was a power supply failure on this machine. power supply is not labeled. It just has a warranty void if removed sticker. So I guess this power supply hasn't had any trouble. That's it for most of this computer. But also the fan shroud right here. You could put a fan here, but it's blocked off. Maybe so dust doesn't come in. But other than that, this computer is pretty interesting. And what I want to do with it is, it's not a very powerful computer, but it would be interesting to test out operating systems such as Linux, MS-DOS, as well as probably the most you can push this to is Windows XP. But also, if you look at this computer, at the very bottom, it does have, at the very bottom of this computer, it does have an ISA slot, which is not particularly useful, but I do have a 486 and that I could connect it to that. So that's it for that computer. The price of this computer, the label, it says $14.99. I actually paid $7 because it was on sale. So that's it for this video.